Why are we obsessed with gender labels?
I think that we're obsessed with gender labels because we still haven't been able to separate gender and sexuality. And oftentimes when people think of gender or someone talking about their gender, it goes straight into sex. And it's their own curiosity on well, can I sleep with you?
Mm-hmm. Would it be acceptable to sleep with you, right? In terms of societal norms, perhaps.
Yeah, definitely.
Based on preconceived notions of what may be conceived as right or wrong. And gender is one of those affirming factors.
Which is weird. Why gender shouldn't equate sex, right?
It shouldn't. I just think that people still don't separate the two, and it's oftentimes because they don't have a lot of understanding and knowledge of the how it's separate, and so it's they think still very male, female, boy, girl, and they think male, female, sex, babies, so that the purpose of being a man, being a woman is to procreate and then move on with your life. And now that a lot of people don't understand and recognize that there's a lot of in between, there's a lot that goes on as it relates to a person's identity. Even though you might be assigned this gender at birth, right? Somehow that person, that individual has decided to have this change, but yet for some reason society outside of that still doesn't see that. They still go back to your body part and say, this is what you have, so this is who you are, despite how you may be feeling or how you may express yourself.
I feel like there's a sense of also freedom and self-identifying and fear at the same time, because once you're stepping away from societal norms and creating your own, then it opens it up to, like you said, endless possibilities. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, that can be scary if you don't yourself, or I myself might not know myself as much, and rely on those restrictions or binaries to feel safe and if I stay here, I'll be okay, right?
Yeah.
But there is something I feel maybe over there, but I shouldn't go over there because then that's discovering myself, and I don't want to go that way because maybe I'll be shunned, maybe I'll be,
I also think at times people, they ask to explain themselves, and if you yourself can't even put it into words or explain it, then how is someone else going to understand such a complex concept, So, and especially when we can't understand something, that's scary for everyone. So if someone's like, oh, well, who are you? And if we can't even ourselves quite answer who we are, because we're all developing, we're all continuously growing. So trying to define someone, put them in a box, it's limiting.
Definitely.
So we're obsessed with gender norms.
Yeah.
Because one word, ready,
Oh.
go.
One word?
I feel fear.
Yeah. Why are we obsessed with gender labels? So for me, one of the reasons I did this is because I do have so many close friends in the trans non-binary community, and seeing a close friend of mine through a college transition gave me a better understanding. But then the more as time progresses and the more that the trans community comes out and is able to be their authentic self and introduced to society, not that they haven't been in the past, but I really feel like it's becoming mainstream. People are opening their minds more. But I'm also seeing within our own LGBTQ community this obsession with this hesitation of addressing pronouns and labels. And it's almost as if there's this clash of communities within our community of, why do I have to relearn pronouns? Like, we fought so hard for gay and lesbian rights, and now this. And so, yeah, that obsession and that, to me, is something that I feel we haven't quite got there yet, even with our own community.
Definitely. I did a talk at the in the meantime, and some folks were questioning, like, why when I introduce myself I have to say my pronouns, or my pronouns are important? And what I explained to them, it really wasn't about them. Yes, you're doing it in that moment, but you're doing it for other people that may be around you, so that they may feel comfortable and they may feel included within the conversation. And I was like, you might be in your 60s, right? But what about that young person that is coming up and is facing rejection? You're just letting them, that's your way of saying, hey, in this space, I see you.
Yeah.
And in this space, you matter. Just like when I first came out at work, when I was a teacher, I had these pronoun pins, and it was so cute because people would be like, what is that? What does that mean? And then it led into a conversation about understanding trans identity. And that was my soft way of saying, hey, I'm trans, I'm in a transition. And so I always say the work that I do, the work that we do, yes, we're doing the work, yes, we're doing it in present time, but it's for that young person that's coming up that has faced rejection, doesn't know where they're going, is building their self-confidence. And so for me, it's like, it's beyond me. It's about creating that world, so those numbers of individuals committing suicide, that goes down.
Yeah.
And
how could an older gay or lesbian, bi person not understand that? Like, they went through the same thing of coming out and wanting to be accepted. So I don't understand, for people within our own community, how do you not see that? It's the exact same thing.
Yeah, it's a death. It's a death, right?
Yeah.
When you came out as gay, if anybody else thought you were straight or was gonna have kids, when they found you were gay, that person that they thought you were gonna be died. It's the same thing with being trans. Who you thought I was before, who you saw me as I'm no longer that person. So that's also a death. So it's a level of, I think, when I introduce myself, I talk about that compassion and kindness and empathy that all goes into when you seeing a person, understanding that, oh, this is them, this is who they are. Let me show up. Let that kindness and compassion show up for that person.
Yeah.
What a beautiful way to make the history and legacy of our community to continue, by a rebirth of everything that we fought for so far, and now joining forces to rise from the ashes again and include our trans and non-binary siblings, and at that, all of us together are pushing up into equality.
Yeah.
Yeah, and growing.
I love that.